Picture this: wide open land, green grass stretching for miles, cattle grazing in the morning sun, a white farmhouse on a hill, fresh air, no boss, no cubicle, no alarm clock. Just you, your land, and your livestock. This is the American dream. Not the apartment in the city version, not the stock portfolio version, the original version, the version that built this country. And right now, more Americans than ever are chasing it. In 2021 alone, over 6 million Americans said they wanted to own a ranch or farm. Land prices in Texas, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado hit all-time highs. Ranch brokers reported the busiest years in their careers, and social media made it look even better. Thousands of influencers showed you the sunsets, the baby calves being born, the slow mornings, and wide horizons. Welcome to Warren's portfolio, because here is what none of those influencers showed you: the feed bills, the vet bills, the drought, the market crash, the fencing repairs at 2 a.m., the years you put in everything and got almost nothing back. Here is the brutal truth about ranching that nobody talks about. The average American cattle ranch operates at a net profit margin of 1 to 3%. 1 to 3%. That means on every $100 of revenue, the rancher keeps between $1 and $3. The grocery store clerk ringing up your ribeye makes more margin than the man who raised the animal. Today, I'm going to show you everything: the capital required, the unit economics, the hidden revenue plays that nobody talks about, the real risks, and the exit strategy that actually makes ranching worth it. Stay until the end, because the last thing I'm going to reveal is the one number that separates the ranchers who build generational wealth from the ones who sell out in 5 years and swear they will never go back.
Let us start at the beginning. What does it actually cost to open a ranch? Not a backyard farm, a real operational cattle ranch in the United States. This is where most people's dreams get their first reality check. Let us start with land. A working ranch requires land. A lot of it. In Texas, one of the most common ranching states, a functional small cattle operation needs at minimum 1,000 to 1,500 acres. The average price per acre in Texas is currently between $3,000 and $7,000 depending on location. Let us use $4,500 per acre. 1,200 acres at $4,500 per acre is $5.4 million just for the land. Before a single animal walks on it, before a single fence goes up, before a single building is built. $5.4 million. And that's Texas. Montana or Wyoming could run even higher for quality ranch land. Now, let us talk about what goes on top of that land. Fencing. A proper perimeter fence plus internal pasture divisions for rotational grazing on 1,200 acres can cost between $150,000 and $400,000. Water infrastructure. Wells, tanks, irrigation lines, water troughs across multiple pastures add another $50,000 to $200,000. Working facilities. A proper cattle handling system, chutes, loading areas, head gates, squeeze chutes, that's another $40,000 to $150,000. Equipment. A tractor, a hay baler, a UTV, a trailer, a feeding system. You're looking at $200,000 to $500,000 in equipment alone. Then the animals themselves. A commercial cow-calf operation running 200 breeding cows, which is considered a small to medium operation, requires purchasing those cows. Quality commercial bred cows in today's market run $1,800 to $2,800 per head. 200 cows at $2,300 average is $460,000 in cattle alone. Plus bulls. One bull for 25 to 30 cows is the standard ratio. 7 bulls at $3,000 to $8,000 each. Add another $35,000 to $56,000. Then operating capital. You need 12 to 18 months of operating reserves to cover feed, vet, labor, and infrastructure before cattle revenue begins covering expenses. That reserve fund should be at minimum $150,000 to $300,000. Add it all up. Land, $5.4 million. Infrastructure, $640,000 to $750,000. Equipment, $350,000. Livestock, $516,000. Operating reserve, $250,000
$625,000. Total startup capital for a small cattle ranch, approximately $7 million to $7.5 million for a small operation. This is not the Wyoming dream they showed you on Instagram. This is a $7 million business commitment before you produce a single pound of beef. And it gets harder from here.
Now let us talk about what the business actually produces. This is where the math starts to break your heart. In a cow-calf operation, the most common ranch model in America, you breed cows and sell the calves. Here's how the cycle works. A cow is bred in the spring. She carries the calf for 9 months. The calf is born the following winter or early spring. The calf is raised for 6 to 8 months, then sold as a weaned calf at approximately 500 to 600 pounds. At current market prices, that weaned calf sells for approximately $2.75 to $3 per pound. Let us use $2.75 per pound. At 550 pounds, each calf generates approximately $1,512 in revenue. On 200 breeding cows, assuming an 88% calf crop, the industry average, you produce 176 calves per year. 176 calves multiplied by $1,512 equals $266,112 in annual gross revenue. From 200 cows, from a $7 million investment, $266,000. Now, let us subtract the costs. Feed is your largest variable cost. A cow consumes approximately 26 pounds of dry matter per day. Annual feed cost per cow runs approximately $400 to $700, depending on whether you grow your own hay or purchase it. 200 cows multiplied by $550 average is $110,000 in feed costs. Veterinary costs, vaccinations, deworming, pregnancy checks, occasional emergency care. The industry average is $35 to $80 per cow per year. 200 cows at $55 average is $11,000. Bull maintenance and replacement. Bulls only last 3 to 5 years before they need replacement. Annualized cost across 7 bulls runs approximately $8,000 to $15,000 per year. Labor. Even a small ranch requires at minimum 1 full-time ranch hand at $40,000 to $60,000 per year plus housing. Call it $55,000 all in. Fuel, utilities, maintenance, repairs, conservatively another $25,000 to $40,000 per year. Insurance, property, liability, livestock insurance on a $7 million operation, $15,000 to $30,000 per year. Property taxes on 1,200 acres in Texas or Montana, $8,000 to $25,000 per year. Total annual operating expenses, approximately $240,000 to $280,000. Net profit on $266,000 in revenue with $260,000 in costs, $6,000 to $26,000 per year on a $7 million investment. That's a return on invested capital of less than 0.4%. A savings account pays more. A U.S. Treasury bond pays more. A stock index fund has paid more for the last 100 years. This is why economists and agricultural finance experts consistently identify ranching as one of the lowest return on capital businesses in the American economy. Yet hundreds of thousands of people do it, and some of them get genuinely wealthy. Why? Because the basic cow-calf model is not the business. It's the cover story for the real business underneath.
Here is where the video gets interesting. Every rancher who is making real money is not getting rich from selling calves. They are getting rich from what the land itself produces, or what they have turned the land into. Let me walk you through the real plays. Play 1, land depreciation. This is the silent wealth engine of every successful ranch. Between 2012 and 2024, USDA data shows that U.S. farmland and ranch land increased in value by an average of 6 to 8% per year. In premium ranching states like Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado, specific areas saw 12 to 15% annual appreciation during the 2020 to 2023 period. That $5.4 million in land you purchased, at 7% annual appreciation over 20 years, it becomes $20.8 million. The ranching operation does not need to be profitable. The land underneath it is the investment. This is the game. Play 2, hunting and recreation leases. Texas alone generates over $2.3 billion per year in hunting lease income. A ranch in a good hunting area can lease hunting rights for white-tailed deer, turkey, dove, hogs, or exotic game. Rates range from $3 to $15 per acre per year depending on game quality and location. On 1,200 acres of good hunting land in South Texas, a hunting lease at $8 per acre generates $9,600 per year. That is 100% margin revenue. No feed cost, no vet cost, no labor cost. Premium managed hunting operations with lodging and guided hunts can generate $50,000 to $500,000 per year on the same land. Play 3. Carbon credits and conservation easements. This is the newest and fastest growing ranch revenue stream. The voluntary carbon market allows ranchers to sell carbon sequestration credits to corporations trying to offset their emissions. Well-managed ranch land can qualify for $15 to $75 per ton of carbon sequestered per year. A 1,200-acre operation with good grass management can potentially generate $18,000 to $90,000 per year in carbon credit revenue. It requires no additional cattle, no additional equipment, and no additional labor. Conservation easements take it further. A rancher can sell the development rights to their land to a land trust or government entity. The rancher keeps ownership and continues operating the ranch, but gets paid for permanently preserving the agricultural character of the land. Payments on conservation easements on quality land can range from $500,000 to several million dollars, a one-time payment that dramatically changes the financial picture. Play 4. Premium branded beef. The commodity cattle market paid the rancher approximately 75 cents to $1 per live weight of a feeder steer, but a premium grass-fed, regeneratively raised direct-to-consumer beef brand can sell that same pound of beef for $8 to $18. The difference is branding and direct relationships. Ranchers who build subscription box programs, farmers market presences, or restaurant supply relationships can 10x to 15x their revenue from the same number of animals. White Oak Pastures in Georgia transformed from a conventional commodity operation to a direct-to-consumer premium brand, generating over $30 million per year from the same land, the same cattle, a completely different financial model. Play 5. Agritourism. Ranch stays, working ranch vacations, horseback riding experiences, ranch camps for children, wedding venues. The agritourism market in the United States generates over $1 billion annually. A well-run working ranch experience in a scenic location can generate $200 to $600 per night per guest. With a 5-cabin setup operating at 60% occupancy, that's a $219,000 to $657,000 in additional annual revenue from the same land, from the same operation. The best modern ranches are not commodity cattle operations. They are integrated land businesses with 5 to 8 distinct revenue streams running simultaneously on one piece of ground.
Now let us talk about what can kill a ranch even when you are doing everything right. Because the risks in ranching are not like the risks in most businesses. They are larger, less predictable, and sometimes completely outside your control. Risk 1. Drought. In 2022, approximately 60% of the continental United States experienced some form of drought. Texas, one of the largest cattle states, lost an estimated $3.6 billion in agricultural value in a single year from drought conditions. When grass stops growing, you have 3 choices. Buy hay, which can cost $200 to $400 per ton and wipe out your entire profit margin. Sell cattle, which floods the market and drops prices exactly when every other rancher is also selling, or watch your herd lose body condition and your land lose topsoil. There is no good option. There is only which form of damage you are willing to absorb. Risk 2. Cattle price volatility. The cattle market trades like a commodity because it is one. Prices swing based on supply cycles, fuel prices, feed grain costs, export demand, and consumer spending patterns. Between late 2014 and 2016, U.S. feeder cattle prices dropped approximately 40%. A ranch valued based on $2.75 per pound calves suddenly found itself selling $1.65 per pound calves. The operating economics went from painful to catastrophic in 2 market cycles. Risk 3. Disease outbreaks. A single confirmed case of foot and mouth disease anywhere in the United States would immediately shut down U.S. beef exports. The U.S. exports approximately $10 billion in beef per year. A shutdown of that export market would cause domestic cattle prices to collapse within weeks. Even less catastrophic diseases, respiratory illness, pink eye, hardware disease, can kill 5 to 15% of a calf crop in a bad year.
On 176 calves, that's up to 26 animals worth approximately $39,000 gone. Risk 4. Predator loss. In the American West, coyotes, mountain lions, and bears kill an estimated $80 million in livestock per year. On a small ranch, losing even 5 to 10 calves per year to predators represents $7,500 to $15,000 in direct revenue loss. Risk 5. The succession problem. One of the most devastating risks to ranch wealth is not market or weather, it is family. When a ranch founder dies without a proper estate plan, the land frequently must be sold to pay estate taxes. Federal estate tax applies to estates over $12 million. A ranch worth $15 million in appreciated land value could face a $1.2 million estate tax bill, cash the family does not have, forcing the sale of the land that built the wealth. This is called the estate death spiral for family farms and ranches. It destroys generational wealth that took 3 or 4 generations to build in a single probate proceeding. Operating levers. How survivors manage these risks. The ranchers who last use specific tools, futures contracts, and price protection through the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, cross-fencing and rotational grazing to preserve grass health during drought, livestock insurance policies for disease and weather events, diversified revenue so a cattle price collapse doesn't end the operation, and legal structures, family LLCs, dynasty trusts, conservation easements to protect the land from estate tax on death.